You're going to walk, lighting a solid string of fire as you go, doing whatever you're needing to do with it. To extinguish it, take a gloved hand, go over the wick like such. To put it back into storage mode, you just reverse the process. My name is John Weir. I'm Extension Prescribed Fire Specialist here at Oklahoma State University. And today we're going to talk a little bit about drip torches, about what are we going to use to ignite the fire. So what we have is just a standard drip torch. Some people call them a forestry torch. These are made out of aluminum, been around for a long time, very safe, effective to use. They hold about 1.5 gallons of fuel. The fuel mixture that we typically use is a 1-to-1 or 50-50 gasoline and diesel. Typically we use that a lot more in the winter months, early spring when it's cooler outside, kind of below 70 degrees or so. Once you start warming up or doing growing season burns, burning in the summer when it warms up and gets hotter, you're going to want to add a little more diesel to it. So you're going to run like 60-40, 70-30 gasoline to diesel. Always either equal parts of gasoline and diesel or higher amounts of diesel than gas in your torch. The reason you use a torch mixture, gasoline by itself, is one, too dangerous to use because of the vaporization of it. Secondly, it also burns quick and hot. Diesel by itself won't ignite, but if you get diesel lit, it burns for a long period of time. So you mix these two together, it reduces the volatility of the gasoline that's in the mixture, and it also gives you a long-term residual flame time. Once you put that torch fuel out on the ground, it's going to burn there for quite a long time. This torch is set up for travel or storage like it is right here. To operate it, what you're going to do is undo this lock ring right here, pull it off, set it down real quick, then you can pull off this plug right here in the top, and then it's got a spot for that plug to store right here so it's not banging around or anything in the drip torch. Do that, then you're going to pull the torch out, the spout, and you're going to flip it over, and you place it like that. The curly Q on the torch goes opposite of the handle. So the curly Q goes away from that handle, then you're going to replace that lock ring over the top of this, tighten it down. You don't have to just gorilla grip this thing down or do that. Just snug it up because it has a rubber gasket that'll hold it. And then right above where the handle hits the torch, there's a vent. That's your vent to allow the air to flow into the torch so it'll operate. You open it up about a turn or so. What you're going to do, then you're going to take that torch, you tip it over and you see the fuel comes out, and what you want it set at is where that fuel is flowing over this wick right here and it's dripping off of it. You don't want it where it's flowing and shooting over it because it doesn't replenish the fuel in that wick as it burns up. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to light. You're going to light it, lift up, it just works off of gravity, tilt down, your fire comes along, then again you're going to walk, lighting a solid string of fire as you go, doing whatever you're needing to do with it. You can also take a torch, sling fire in areas with light fuels and things like that. To extinguish it, take a gloved hand, go over the wick like such. Again, to relight it, just find you some fire, stick it right in there to do it. You can also blow if you got enough wind to do that. And then the other thing is you can do a combination of both, gloved hand and that to put it out. You should always put the torch out when you're not using it for any short period of time, because what it'll do is heat up the end of this torch and cause back pressure to build up on the torch, and it won't operate right. It'll start shooting fuel out, not operating well, and it don't burn. So put it out. And if you're going to stop even for 10, 15, 20 seconds, put the torch out, relight it, and go on. Never take a lit torch outside the burn unit. Stay inside, either on the fire break or inside the burn unit. So again, watch where you're going, watch where you're walking, watch for others on doing that as safety. Again, like I said, these things are safe. They're not going to blow up. They're not going to explode. anything like that. They're very safe, very reliable to operate. To refuel, what you'll want to do if you run out of fuel, come back to the fire break where you're at, then you'll have your fuel. We already have it pre-mixed. I like pre-mixed torch fuel. Everybody has their own choices. Some people have just cans of gas and cans of diesel and mix it, eyeball it. I like just to be able, so that way some people that don't know how to mix it right or get it mixed wrong, you have it already pre-mixed, and then you can just dump it right into the torch, get it back together and go on. To put it back into storage mode, you just reverse the process, pull the lock ring off, take it over, flip the spout over, stick it back in the body. Change the plug. Remember to do that because it will leak fuel out everywhere if you don't. Replace the lock ring. And then also be sure to remember to shut that vent down, because again it will leak fuel out and you'll have fuel dripping all over everything, get all over stuff, and then it's ready to go for storage back again. There's also, just to show you, you can either buy them or you can make them yourself with just some pipe, making extension snouts and stuff on these drip torches. Again, a lot of times one of the main reasons to do this is to necessitate or make lighting like outside of or in a side-by-side a whole lot easier. You got a longer spout that sticks out, so that works really good. That's the drip torch. That's what you're going to use to light a fire. They're very cost-effective. They're very efficient to use. A lot of times people ask, like, how much fire can you light? It's going to depend on a couple things: how much herbaceous fuel or leaf litter, whatever you're burning, how continuous it is, how heavy it is. You know, the heavier the fine fuel, the better it's easier it is and quicker to light. If you have areas that have sparse fuel, not real contiguous, you're gonna have to sling fire. It's gonna use a lot more fire. But typically you can get about a mile or so per gallon and a half of torch. So that's kind of give you an idea of how far it will go within that. But again, it will vary with also the user and the fuel load within the burn unit.